Hey guys, welcome back to the Laux family farm. I'm Amber and today we are going to be planting up 4 of my garden beds for the fall garden. We here in Northwest Indiana are sitting at about 9 weeks from our first expected frost date. I think it's about 66 days. October 22nd is when our average expected first frost date is here. So I do have enough time to do one more planting of green beans, and this is the Kalima variety from Baker's Creek. I will be planting a big patch of that and hoping to get a good harvest before the frost hits. There's also a couple herbs that I will be planting again. Parsley and my cilantro have died back from the heat of the summer, so I will be replanting them, and they should have enough days to give me a nice little harvest so I can use some for canning for salsas and other things like that. So the plan is also to harvest some sweet corn if I have time, and I'm working on my large summer garden, moving mulch and getting that already kind of started and preparing for next season. We still have a lot of tomatoes that are producing and peppers and even cut flowers, but my mindset is already focused on next year since it is mid-August. And there's a lot of things we can do now to get us set up in place for the next spring and summer. So 2 nights ago, I came out and went ahead and started stripping 2 of the 4 kitchen garden beds to get them ready for the fall planting. I had 1 cucumber that was still producing. It was just really looking rough and it was just time to let it go. A giant marigold plant. It was absolutely insane. It was my first year growing the Cracker Jack variety and definitely really enjoyed it. It's just, again, I'm ready to get these beds ready for the fall garden. So I added 2 bags of some compost to each just to refreshen them, leveled them out. Our chickens did at one point get in here, so the soil was all uneven, and I just did a nice light leveling of the beds. So that's already taken care of. So I have 2 that are fully ready to be planted. Also that night I was able to start on a 3rd garden bed, the one that has our string trellising for the tomato plants. These plants are absolutely incredible. I am so thrilled with how it's turned out. I did give the tomato plants a really good hard prune so that there'd be space, because on this bed I do want to plant carrots on each side. So there was some suckers on the tomato plants that would be casting too much of a shadow onto where I want to plant the carrots. So I got those all trimmed up and ready to go. So really it's just this last garden bed that I need to add the compost and get ready to plant. I think I'm going to be doing the green beans in this bed. All right, I'm actually going to be taking a break really quick because Alex says that he is willing to help me harvest some sweet corn. So I'm going to take him up on that, and then I'll get back to planting these garden beds. So our sweet corn this year, we put in the backyard. And the hope was that we would put it with the chickens, and once the stalks grew tall enough, the chickens would be able to enjoy some shelter from the aerial predators and even just kind of be able to weed around it and fertilize the ground. Well, we did let the chickens out. We took this snow fencing down because that's how we've kept it separate. Our chicken coops are over here, and they have this whole acre fenced in that they free range. We made a small section with this snow fencing to keep the chickens out of the corn while it grew. We did take it down for one day. And I think I have some footage. If I do, I'll place it right here. It was remarkable how quickly our little chickens were able to just tear down the stalks and eat all the weeds. And they got the weeds all gone and they started eating the sweet corn. So we had to put the snow fencing back up. And I mean, ultimately the corn did do really great because this is soil that the chickens have been fertilizing for the last couple years. So I think we might do it again. It was a nice placement, so we'll see. Well, I guess he wants to move mulch first to my big garden. So pause on the sweet corn, let's move some mulch, and then we will get back and we'll see what type of sweet corn we have. Alex got a load of mulch this morning with his dump truck, and now we're going to be using the tractor to move it into my garden. This tractor has just been the most incredible thing to add to our farm. It's really just made so many of our tasks so easy, and I just can't believe that we finally have one. Getting the gates. This has been my project this week. You can see I have so much grass growing in my walkways, so I have been out here weeding and then laying the mulch down. So I have this section done and it looks so nice. But I still have 1, 2, 3 more sections. I started back here yesterday. You can see the big difference. So right here where our chairs are is beautiful, but starting right here, look at all that weeds. So my little helpers came out and they're gonna start weeding with me. Come on, boys. So Hunter Lynn's here, and then our little monkeys. That's monkey number 1. Wait, no. This is who's monkey number 1?
The oldest.
River. And this is monkey number 2, Chandler. I found my hose. All right, and then here's my actual helper. Hunter Lynn is a pro when it comes to weeding. Here, you can have a pile right over there. That's harder. There's 2 different types of grass. I don't know. I'd have to look up what the variety is, but this thicker kind is definitely easier. So once all this is weeded, are you going to help me move the mulch too? No? Well, thank you for your help. All right, so Alex got me a nice big pile of mulch. So me and Hunter Lynn stopped weeding. because it is time now for harvesting sweet corn. Alex is putting the tractor away. I'm locking up the gate. Moving on back to the sweet corn. That is why I need help. His legs are much taller than mine. It's a lot easier for him to get in there. Our rooster's checking you out, Alex. Oh. All right. Here's the box. And the shears. Oh, did I just poke a hole in that?
You did.
Oops. All right, so what are we looking for to know that it's ready?
Dry brown tops.
Yeah. Now this is the variety is called Honey Select. We got it from Pine Tree Seed Company. So it is more of a small, what would you call it? Cob? A cob? Corn cob? I don't know. It's not as big of a variety, but it's really good. We've harvested enough to eat some when we went camping last weekend, and it was really good. But we're gonna see what we get.
In here.
Little baby.
There's probably not even any corn on this.
So cute. Chickens will be happy. And we're saving the stalks to decorate for fall. We're drying them out in the pole barn.
And put on the stand.
Yes, I had this wonderful idea of decorating our farm stand with some dried corn stalks. Alex wants to sell it, but I think we're going to be using it all.
Excuse me?
We'll see how much we have.
Hey, you're letting your chickens eat these.
Well, let's put them over here. So we started a second round to kind of succession sow the corn. And I don't know, some of them are already growing tassels and they're only like 2.5 feet tall. So I don't know if this batch is really gonna produce much. It was again, a different variety we've never tried. And it was supposed to be only 70 days to harvest. But Alex says I have to come in and help. But
Oh, that was so hard.
it was. All right. I'll get the corn, you get the stalks.
Gotta be careful. Twist in motion. Yeah.
All good?
Didn't produce any corn.
Good. So this is only averaging 1 to 2 per stalk. Oh, this one has 2. Pretty good. We need a bigger box. All right, well, we are finished.
You're not gonna harvest the last couple?
No. I'm gonna go find a bigger box. Got my bigger container. for the corn. There's our stalks. They look pretty nice. The empty little corn patch, and then all of our corn. I am pretty proud. It is a full wheelbarrow of sweet corn. Well, maybe not 100% full, but if you consider what we've already harvested, it is such an improvement. Last year we did try to grow sweet corn, but the deer ended up eating all of it. So I think we're gonna stick with this. Do you think we'll try this again next year? Keep it in the same spot? Just maybe go a little bit bigger?
Probably do something similar. We'll figure something out.
Take the fencing down now, and our chickens are gonna be so happy. All of this is weeds that grew since the chickens weren't able to get here. And just for comparison, right on the outside, you can just see how good the chickens are at keeping this area free of any weeds. So let's see. Let's take it down, see how long it takes them. So I do have a couple little baby chick friends you may see pop in and out from time to time. Been feeding these baby chicks on this side of my fence because they're small enough they can climb in and out of the holes here, but the larger hens can't. So they're able to come get their feed and water and be undisturbed. So if you hear a little peeping, it's just our little friends. I am going to be leaving this marigold plant in. Again, it's another large variety. I think this might be Crackerjack also. I got two large variety. One was Crackerjack and the other was Hawaiian, but I think the Hawaiian was all orange. So you can see it's planted here, and look how massive that rootstock is. But then it fell over from a big storm, and now it's rooted into this bed, and I can't help it. I have to leave it and just see. So this bed here has the best light out of all 4 of my kitchen garden beds. So my plan is to plant my green beans. The thing you need to keep in mind is that the days are shorter. There's not as much sunlight. So this variety of green beans, it says it's 50 to 55 days until you're harvesting. We have 60 to 66 days. And so even though it's 50 to 55 days, now that it's the fall garden, those days are shorter. So it might actually take more like 60 days for me to have a harvest, which puts me really close to the first expected frost date. Now what I am thinking I'll be doing because of that is anything that is more frost tender, I'm gonna plant in this bed with the green beans. That way, if there is a predicted day that we are going to get below 32 degrees or at frost or at that temperature, I can put some sort of protection on this bed, some type of fabric, a sheet, something to protect them, and hopefully be able to still get a really nice yield out of these green beans. The fall garden is really kind of a gamble. You just really don't know. Some years you don't have a freeze until November, and sometimes it's the beginning of October. Every day I'll just be checking the weather once we hit October and just really making sure that I can get out here and protect the crops that need protection. Now the kale I'm going to be planting, those can handle a freeze, so I'll have those in other beds and I really don't need to worry about that. They'll actually thrive and they like the cold weather. It'll give them a really nice flavor. But this is all done and ready for me to plant up. You guys, I don't know if you can see this, but we are about ready to get hit with a thunderstorm. So I am going to try and plant as quickly as much as I can. Kind of caught me off guard. It was calling for storms all day and then they passed. And so I came out here and started working, harvesting corn as you saw. And now I think I've run out of time. So I'll try to get as much as I can done, but I don't want the camera or anything getting wet. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll pick it back up and be able to show you what I was able to get done before the rain started. So I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Hey, it's the next day. The rain wasn't that bad last night. I probably could have filmed for a little bit longer. However, I'm glad I put the camera down and just got to work. I was able to get 2 different types of carrots planted, as well as green beans, cilantro, and parsley. So I have 2 of the 4 kitchen garden beds that are completely planted up, and now today I need to finish planting the other 2 beds. What I have to plant in those beds is some cabbage, kale, 2 different varieties of radishes, and then I do also want to get planted some spinach and lettuce. And I'm realizing the only variety of lettuce I have is romaine, which is a bummer. I thought I had more. I should have grabbed some when I was at the store, but it's too late now. I know I won't be at the store for the next week and I just need to get in what I have. So it's okay. I love spinach. I'll just plant heavy on the spinach. The other 2 things that I probably will plant up is some more snap peas and a container garden that's going to grow up a trellis. And then I do want to add just a few borage. I think it says it's only 50 days to maturity, so I think that we will be able to have some other friends for the pollinators here at the end of the season. Before we start planting those 2 other garden beds, I did want to quickly show you how I planted my carrots.
Mommy?
Yes, buddy?
Mommy? Mama?
What?
Can I get my cars out?
You want to play your cars?
Yeah.
What type of cars?
The Hot Wheels Acre cars.
The Hot Wheels?
Yeah.
If you wash your face first, you got a lot of dirt all over your face.
Okay, and then what?
And then you can play.
Yay!
I planted the carrots on either side of my string trellising system for my tomatoes. I did do the board method. I did this earlier for my spring planting, and basically what you do is you water the soil so that it is nice and wet. You put your carrot seeds down and then you put the board on top of it. And what the board does is protect your seeds from getting washed away by the rain, since carrot seeds are so tiny. And it also keeps the soil moist so that the seeds can germinate, because carrots do take anywhere from like 7 to 14 days to germinate, which is a little bit longer than some seeds. So you keep the boards on top of the seeds for about 7 days, and then you start checking it daily. And once you see the seeds start to sprout, you take the boards off. So you'll notice that one board is much smaller than the other. That's because this second variety of carrots, it was just a bonus seed pack from Baker's Creek. The seed company just threw it in. And so I didn't have very many. So all I needed was a small little area, which is good because I did choose to leave in this beautiful marigold, and it's kind of taking over this whole little area of the garden bed. So that worked out. Now in this bed, I did label these, but it looks like it rained so quickly after I labeled them that there is nothing left to be seen. So I do remember though that I planted parsley along this edge of the bed, cilantro on the other side, and then my green beans all in the middle. after planting those is when the rain started, so I did just quickly pick up my tools and get inside for the night. So we have these 2 beds left. I did already add the compost to them a few days back, and they obviously got a nice bit of rain yesterday. So they are ready to be planted up. I'm thinking this bed here, I will do the cabbage with some radishes, and then this bed is where I will plant kale and my spinach and lettuce. So my spinach I'm planting today, looks like I have 2 varieties that I had left from spring planting, and they kind of got dumped and mixed in this baggie. So one variety is Bloomsdale Long Standing, and then also just plain American spinach. So I'm not really sure what's what in here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and spread that out. And when I did plant my spring garden beds, I'll put a little link right here if you're interested in seeing that. I did really pretty nice long rows, and when I was harvesting this spring, it was actually really pretty because I had the Merlot lettuce, the spinach, some butter crunch. It was just beautiful. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that again. Even though I don't have any more Merlot lettuce. I can't believe I don't. Like, I'm shocked. I really thought I had it in my seed box, but I'm going to be using my dabber, just dragging a straight line and then just sprinkling the seeds out. So you'll see here, spinach seeds aren't that tiny, especially in comparison to carrot seeds. So you do just want to kind of sprinkle them out and then just come back and lightly till them in. And even though it did rain last night, I will be going ahead and watering this all in with a hose to just start the germination process. All right, so the spinach is done, and next I have my romaine lettuce. These seeds are kind of tiny, but I'm going to be doing the same method where I just make a trench and I sprinkle the seeds in and then just kind of mix it up, and then at the end I'll water it in. So I've heard, and I imagine it's true, that you're supposed to step on your garden beds or step in them as little as possible as to not compact the soil. But I don't know if it's just from being 5 foot, 0 inches, but I can never seem to get away with planting up a bed and not actually stepping in it. I do try not to, or try to do it as little as possible, but to you gardeners that can figure out how not to step in your beds, kudos to you. I'm not capable. All right, I think I'm just gonna do 1 row of the lettuce. I did 2 of, well, technically I did 1.5 of spinach, 1 row of lettuce, and then the kale. I didn't grow any this spring, and so I do want to try to see, I need to check the spacing, but I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 rows of kale in here, although I feel like I'm probably only going to be able to fit 1. I love making a potato sausage soup. It's really similar to the Olive Garden zuppa discata. I love it. So kale is a necessity this fall and winter. All right, so after reading the seed packet, it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and put kale in 2 of my beds. We eat it more than cabbage, so I'll just go light on the cabbage. So I'll do a row here on the edge, spacing every 18 inches. So I'm gonna plant 4 seeds per hole. So this time I'll be making just a small hole. It says 1/4 inch deep with my dabber. And then I'll put 4 seeds in, and I'll thin to just 1 once they do germinate, and I'll look for the healthiest seedling and I'll thin them out to 1. And then I'll do the same thing over here. All right, so my first one, I'm just going to make a small little section. And then 18 inches, this is about 1 foot long, so we'll just go to about here. And again. So you're able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is enough space in between the cabbage and the romaine that I am going to put 4 more kale plants. So I'm just going to stagger the planting. All right, so 4 for each hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 4-ish, I guess. They're still pretty hard. And I'm not making big holes, it's more like indents. So I had a few left and we'll save them for the spring. You guys, I kid you not, Mother Nature has decided that this video must end. It is again going to storm. I'm gonna have to hurry up again and plant without my video. I am not good at being quick at filming. But so really what I'm gonna do then is do 1 more row of my other variety of kale here. And then in the middle, I will have all my radishes. And then on the other end, I'll just do 1 row of some cabbage. So I am so sorry, but I guess this is it for the video. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm sorry it's been a little bit of a scattered one today, but I hope to see you next time. And yeah, bye. What do you want to say?
Love you, Mommy.
I love you too. What you drinking?
Water.
What?
That water.
Just water?